Square just dropped a huge bomb when they released this trailer. No one was expecting it until the week of Festa, but here it is. Now this is going to be my little analysis of the trailer because there is a lot to talk about. I'm going to do things a little different than what I normally do. This time I'm going to talk about each game section individually, not instead of chronological order. But before we begin, I would like to say that I really love that Kingdom Hearts 15th anniversary logo. It just looks so beautiful. Now let's talk about the Dream Drop Distance section. Not much to talk about other than it looks great and sounds great too. I'm looking forward to playing this on my PS4. You have no idea. I love this game so much, and to play it on my TV is even better. The next section we are going to talk about is the back cover key section. During this section where they showcase the games, we see a few new scenes, and one scene we see who could be the Master talking to the foretellers. This could be him telling them to make their own unions and give them a copy of the Tome of Prophecy. And then we see Ava and Gula looking at a Cherith in a flask, Master Ira, and then see Daybreak Town during night, and Luxu with his Keyblade, and Ava looking up while at the fountain. Now we see the Master standing outside of Daybreak Town before turning away, saying that what's written in the last page of the book is going to happen. Now you know that eventually all the Yuns will end up being in a big Keyblade war, so could that be what the last page was talking about? Or was it even further into the future and could actually talk about the events that will happen in Kingdom Hearts 3? Speaking of the book, in the next scene we see Master Ira looking through the book while someone else, it can't be Master Ira, he just sounds so different than what we've heard of him from previous trailers. Could be the Master's voice or maybe even Luxu's, but what they are saying is that they are there to make sure that light lives on. And the good news is that the light will live on, but at a great cost, that's for sure. Now this scene right here is where things are getting really interesting. We see Aced faced off against Envy, Ava, and Gula, while Aced is saying that if they don't do something, the light will expire. Now, as we have seen in the other 2.8 trailers, that Aced is leaning to a more extreme when it comes to fighting the trailer, to even go so far as to form alliances that are forbidden among the foretellers. And it seems that he has gone too far, even far enough to have Ava summon her Keyblade. You must have done something really bad if she's ready to fight you. Speaking of Ava, she is seen kneeling down next to some dandelions while we hear her ask, "But Master, is there anything they can do?" Now I think this is the part where Ava comes up with the name Dandelions, as well as her whole concept and the idea of what she is going to do to make sure that the light lives on. We get a close-up of Gula saying how everyone wants to know about the lost page, and how couldn't you? With what is written on it is destined to happen. No matter what, you have to be a bit curious about it. Now we see some fighting going on between Envy and Aced, while someone says if everyone is collecting lights solely for themselves. Now this for sure to me sounds like there's more to it than just that. It could not have ended on that sentence right there. It sounds like an incomplete sentence. Now I remember a line similar to that in the browser's version of Key when it was getting close to the Keyblade War, so we know a lot of stuff is about to go down. And we see the Master once again saying, "May your heart be your guiding key." And then he goes back to his somewhat silly, non-serious nature while saying, "I say it all the time." And then we see some more scenes while with the Master putting his hand on Envy. He just looks so cute. Cherith jumping in his flask while someone holds it and taps it. And then we see the last page getting torn out of the book. Now my guess is that this is Luxu who is tearing the page out because he might be trying to prevent what is about to happen in the last page, or maybe by him taking it will ensure that what is written on the page will happen. Then we see a nice little moment with Ava and Gula, which makes sense since they are both the youngest members of the foretellers, so they probably get along well. Now we see Ira over what looks like a defeated Aced. Now this could be after Aced lost his fight against the other three foretellers, or maybe this was after Aced and Ira had a fight and Ira is trying to get the answers as to why he is doing what he is doing. Now here's another mystery. What is in the box that Luxu, and yes that is Luxu dragging the box, because we can see in one frame that he is holding his Keyblade, the Keyblade that Master Xehanort will eventually get. Now, there are many theories as to what's in the box. Could have something to do with the tome, maybe the stuff that you need to make a Cherith, maybe something to do with the X-Blade, the Keyblade in general, or something else. Either way, whatever is in that box, it is important. If you also look closely at the box, we can make out X Super which means that this box could belong to the Master of Masters if the 7 Deadly Sins theory name thing holds up. But it still raises the question, why does Luxu have it though? Also, if you look at the ground as of where Luxu is walking, you can see that it isn't Daybreak Town, but it looks like some sort of desert place. Maybe it could be what will become the Keyblade Graveyard. This could be after the war or before the Keyblade War. We don't know. Now we see the Master of Masters at the Clock Tower in Daybreak Town. Now the reason I think this is the Master is because he has his hand behind his back, similar to how the Master was in the scene where he was walking away from Daybreak Town. While all these scenes are playing out, the Master of Master is saying, you ultimately want to do what your heart feels is right, continuing on from what he was saying previously. Now he is obviously telling this to his 5 apprentices, so this must happen pretty early on in the movie. Now we learn that this is going to be around 80 minutes long, which is pretty cool, and the one thing I'm looking forward to about seeing this movie is that unlike Days and Recoded, which had to fade to black before going into the next scene most of the times, they won't have to do that with this since it was made with it being a movie in mind. But I can see them using a few fades here and there, just not as much as those other 2 ones had. And last but not least, let's talk about what had the most meat in this trailer. 0.2 Birth by Sleep, a fragmentary passage. So the first thing we have to talk about is Mickey coming in to save Aqua, which is from the opening cinematic of the game, and it looks so good. The next thing we see is a few flash scenes of 0.2, and this first scene here where we see Destiny Islands, and I have to say it looks so beautiful. Comparing it to how it looked in the first Kingdom Hearts 3 trailer, it looks so much better. Mickey catching Aqua's Wayfinder, Aqua about to fight her reflection, and then about to fight a lot of dark sides. But then we see a scene of the Keyblade Graveyard at night. Like, what is going on at the Keyblade Graveyard? It couldn't be in the Realm of Darkness since we were able to go to it in Kingdom Hearts 2 to fight the Lingering Will. So I think this will be a sort of flashback scene or scene of what is happening in the future. But I'm looking forward to seeing the Keyblade Graveyard in this HD. And then we get to see the beauty herself, Kairi, and not only that, we know for sure that she is going to talk. I know she was more likely going to talk, so this isn't that surprising, but still, she just looks so beautiful, and she has such a sassy look to her with what she is saying to Riku. I'm so looking forward to hearing her talk, and I hope it's her original voice actress back. That would be great as well. Now we see Aqua putting her hand on her reflection. Now, she could be trapped in the mirror world, or this could be after her battle with her reflection, which is what I'm guessing is the case. Then we see Terra and Ven walking into a dark forest. We've seen this scene before in a screenshot from a magazine, and it raises so many questions and gets me so excited. And then bam! Aqua is getting rid of some pesky weeds. Now I think this is her chasing after Terra and Ven. She saw them walk into the forest and now is going after them while the forest is preventing her from catching up to them. While she is attacking one of the weeds, we see at the top of the command menu that an arrow shows up. Now what could this mean? Could it be a way to change it to a command style or some sort of combo type meter? We won't know unless there's an interview or when we play it for ourselves. And now one of the biggest things in this trailer, we can customize Aqua. We can put stuff on her head, arms, back, and a pattern section. And in this first screen we see that the color section is blacked out, but that might be because we can't color the things we put on her head, and it's more so that we can only color the patterns. But then in the next scene we see the color menu open and we can change the color blur of red, blue, and green, similar to what we could do in the Mirage Arena in Birth by Sleep. But they add some more stuff. They have a color history that you can pick from past colors you used, and also a palette with more options of colors. That this just looks so good, and it only affects the color of what you have on your pattern, which is understandable. Don't want to change too much of her original clothing. And a lot of people are wanting this to show up in Kingdom Hearts 3, and I wouldn't mind seeing that either. I don't think the stuff that we put on Aqua will show up in cutscenes though, and it's only for when we are walking around. And we get a look at the regular pause menu now. Now you can see we are in a place called the Dark World, which could be what the Realm of Darkness is called, or it could be some sort of sub-world within the realm. As you see, the words in yellow say the world within. So that could be the case of the Dark World is the Realm of Darkness, while the world within is what the area is called. We can also see what is on the pause menu. Objectives, wardrobe, customize, story, config, and help. This is a really sweet menu with being able to see our objectives, and I'm guessing we can also see past objectives in this menu as well. Wardrobe is probably where we can go and change our clothes and such like we saw in the previous menu, or that could be what the customized menu is. Story is most likely taking the role of the reports section where we can read what has happened so far in the game, see how many treasure chests are left and such that we have seen in the reports from previous games. Config and help will most likely be how you want to play the game and help with what to do with the game. But another thing to note is that the person on this file has been playing for over 4 hours and is on standard mode and is at level 57. Like, that is a high level to be at. They must have found a great grinding spot. We then see Aqua running around in her new outfit, but then the next scene we see that Mickey is now a party member. First off, finally we have the King as a party member. Second, the area looks so beautiful. I wonder how far into the game that this is in. We then go back in time to before Mickey joins the party as we see Aqua doing a Tarzan impression of vine surfing and dodging attacks from dark sides with grace. It just looks so beautiful. And now we are in a boss fight with the dark side. Shouldn't be hard. We fought many of these things before, so we should be able to take it down, no problem. Unless it has new cool looking moves like it does. Holy hell, just look at that weird laser beam attack. And the ball that is in the sky just looks so crazy, and we get to fight this thing. I cannot wait. Now we jump to a time where we see Mickey fighting with us, and we are fighting an even larger, stronger Devil's Wave than the one that we saw in the Castle of Dreams portion of the E3 trailer. And where else are we fighting this thing but on Destiny Islands? That's right, we are now in a time during Kingdom Hearts where Destiny Islands has fallen into darkness. More about that later though. Let's focus on this awesome fight. Right here where Mickey seems to be hitting the core of the Devil's Wave at us, and then we shoot it with one of Master Ericus's moves, the Chain of Lights, and trap it, and we team with Mickey and deal a powerful attack. And as you see at the left side of the screen, the word Wayfinder is on top of the command menu. Now this could be a new type of command style, or it could be some sort of limit move like back in Kingdom Hearts 2. We would use our magic to unleash a powerful team attack on enemies, and this could be the one we have with Mickey. We then see Aqua finally catching up to Terra and Ven, and then Terra turns to her and asks if she can see him. This is a shock because from the E3 trailer, we know that she sees Terra at the Castle of Dreams section, but if you played or watched the demo, you know what has happened. So with this Terra, it seems that he is aware of what is around him. This could be another illusion, or it could be part of Terra's light that is in the realm of darkness, since Terra's heart is being controlled by Xehanort at this time. But since this could be taking place during the events of Kingdom Hearts 1, and you know what happens, Apprentice Xehanort became a Heartless and a nobody, so maybe a portion of Terra's light escaped into the realm of darkness and is trying to help Aqua by finding her to help her, and I don't know. Same thing with Ventus, but since he doesn't have his heart, he isn't answering Aqua, and he looks like he's sleeping as well. Aqua tells Terra that she can see him and Ven as well. Now this leads me to believe that Terra probably can't see Ven, but like I said earlier, Ven probably won't answer. We then jump to a scene with Aqua and Mickey at Destiny Islands. This could happen before or after the fight with the Devil's Wave, and Mickey asks if she has been here before, and she answers him by saying she has visited once and met two boys she considered passing the Keyblade onto. And we see a little flashback of that scene where she has her hand on Riku and Sora's head. And of course the scene is in the graphics of Birth by Sleep, but I'm okay with that. Now, as I mentioned before, we can tell that this is happening during the events of Kingdom Hearts 1 because that is when Destiny Islands fell into darkness, and we know that Mickey is in the realm of darkness during Kingdom Hearts 1, so it just makes sense. I also want to point out that Mickey looks so good in this scene. I remember the first 2.8 trailer we got that we saw Mickey, and I hated how he looked, but now this is a big upgrade. And not just on him, but if you watch all the trailers from the first one all the way to this current one, you would see the big, huge improvements that they've had. We then move to a scene where Mickey is saying the words we heard from the Master, "May your heart be your guiding key." And then Aqua comes in saying that's a phrase no one has used in ages. And then Mickey is saying that it's something he likes to try and remember. Now, what does this mean? How does he learn about the phrase? Is it a phrase that Yen Sid and Master Ericus taught to their pupils because Aqua knows about it as well? Or could it be something that they just read about in a book or something? Who knows? But I hope that we find out in this game. And now it's time to get smothered in fast-moving scene after scene. First one is the one where we see Terra Xehanort fighting Terra, and Terra has a light aura around him, similar to what Riku did when he was holding Ansem back in Kingdom Hearts 1. I want to know what is happening in this scene so much. The next scene is we see a giant hand taking Ventus as Aqua was most likely watching what was happening with Terra. I'm guessing these two scenes are going to happen shortly after she meets up with them at that previous scene that we talked about earlier. And this could add to the whole this is another illusion that she sees, and this is what could lead to that scene we saw in the previous trailer where she was ready to give up and fade into darkness, but Mickey comes in to save her. Now what this figure is that is grabbing Ven, it could be another dark side, but the hand looks a little darker and we see those small sparkles that will most likely form into what is holding Ven. Now if I'm right and this scene and the scene with Terra and Xehanort are happening at the same time, then I can guess that the figure that is grabbing Ven could be a giant form of Vanitas, since Aqua knows that Vanitas possessed Ven at the end of her story, and this could be a nightmare for her since she is in the realm of darkness and she knows the fate of her two friends and she's just reliving it again. We can also see that the other hand of the figure is reaching for Aqua as well, ready to grab her. Now I'm sure she will get out of the way in time, but who knows, she was caught off guard. We then see the moment of when Mickey gets the Kingdom Key D, and it's all covered in gold and looks so beautiful. I'm just looking forward to the scene leading up to this one actually. And here's a scene that has everyone in confusion. We see someone in a black coat with Master Xehanort's Keyblade watching as what could be at the Keyblade graveyard, since those mountains look similar to what we have seen. But as you see in the sky, it looks like the blue Kingdom Hearts that Master Xehanort called out in Birth by Sleep. Now those little sparkles that are flying up to the sky could be the hearts of the Keyblade wielders as a result of the Keyblade War, or it could be something else. But if you look at this spot right here, it's something bigger. Could that be a person or just a huge lump of what could be the hearts? Now I think this scene could be in either back cover or 0.2, but since it's the part of the 0.2 scene montage, I'm guessing it's happening in 0.2. We then see Kingdom Hearts 1 Riku in the Realm of Darkness run into something, and then we see Mickey sitting back up after losing his clothing, so he is wearing the same clothes that he wore at the end of Kingdom Hearts. So my guess is the scene with Riku running is when he is going to help Sora close the door at the end of Kingdom Hearts, while Mickey is recovering from what could have been a fight, or maybe he's recovering from when he lost his clothes, who knows. But I feel like this could be close to the end of the game. Now speaking of Riku and Mickey, we go further in time, probably to after Mickey is done telling the story of going into the Realm of Darkness and seeing Aqua, and they are holding their own suitcases. Now it seems that the Nomura's new thing has to be suitcases, with the one that we see in back cover and now these two. What could be in them? Maybe some clothes or some items they will need in order for their journey that they will be going on. Because we know that 0.2 will lead right into Kingdom Hearts 3, and we know that Riku and Mickey will be going on their own journey to search for previous Keyblade wielders. And who is the previous wielder? Aqua. So they could be on their way to save her. But hold on, we know those shoes, we know those clothes. It's our boy Sora, he is back, and Goofy come in and saying, "You've been gone a long time. Where have you been?" Yeah, Sora, where have you been?
Secret.
It's a secret? No, I'm tired of secrets, but this is the first time that Sora has a secret. Normally everyone else has a secret from Sora, but this is the first time that Sora has a secret from everyone else. Sora opens the door, and I just have to say that that is some nice animation and some good sounding door opening. And then we see his face and he says the words, "I'm back." Yes, he is. It's so amazing. Sora, Donald, and Goofy all look so good in this. It's so good. Now let's go back a little bit and talk about what that secret could be. A lot of people think it could be that Sora somehow already saved Aqua, as we saw at the end of the opening of 0.2. And a lot of people are talking about from the first Kingdom Hearts 3 trailer, we saw that Sora picked up the Master Keeper Keyblade on Destiny Islands. And if that comes with the end of 0.2 opening, then somehow Sora already saved Aqua by the end of 0.2. There is a few problems with that theory. The first one being that the Kingdom Hearts 3 trailer where Sora is picking up the Master Keeper Keyblade is that it is non-canon and it was just a trailer that Nomura said that they put together just so they can show off what they can do. The second being that in an interview about 0.2, there was a question asked about the help for Terra, Ventus, and Aqua, and then Nomura said the three protagonists of Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep were met with a cruel fate and disappeared from the world. The situation doesn't change in Kingdom Hearts 0.2 Birth by Sleep, but on Aqua's journey in the Dark Realm there is a possibility that she will discover a way to save them. As for what will save them in the end, it's still a mystery, but that too shall be made clear in Kingdom Hearts 3. So in this interview, it seems very clearly that Nomura does not plan to have Aqua saved by the end of Kingdom Hearts 0.2 Birth by Sleep. So that is another problem. So what could Sora's secret be then? Where was he gone? If you saw the end of Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance, we saw that he went back into the Dream Worlds, went back into the Traverse Town of Dream Worlds, and he met up with his Dream Eaters. But he must have done something else, because how long of a time has passed between then and I'm assuming that's close to the end of 0.2 when Sora shows up. So what was he doing through all of that? What could he have been doing? That is another mystery that needs to be solved for sure. So I think that they are purposely showing us these scenes in this way to throw us off from what Sora's actual secret is. I just hope we find out what Sora's secret is in Kingdom Hearts 0.2 and not have to wait until Kingdom Hearts 3 to find out. That would be one of the biggest cliffhangers that we've gotten in this series since the ending of Kingdom Hearts 2, where Mickey left the letter to Sora, Riku, and Kairi. No matter what the ending of 0.2 is, we can rest easy knowing that it will lead straight into Kingdom Hearts 3. I know it's going to be tempting, but I'm going with Dream Drop Distance first, then 0.2, then watching back cover. Even though I've already played Dream Drop Distance, I have to do it in order for the Let's Plays to make sense, which you can watch on my other channel. A link for it will be in the description below. I'm looking forward to getting this game in January and getting some good Kingdom Hearts 3 news throughout the whole year, as well as picking up the Kingdom Hearts HD Remix Collection in March. Well, that's all the stuff that this trailer got me thinking about. I want to thank you all so much for watching this video, and I want to know what your thoughts are on this trailer, and if you are picking up 2.8, and if you are, what are you going to play first, and what do you think are in the mysterious suitcases, and what Sora's secret is, and how you think 0.2 is going to end. I want to thank you all so much for watching once again, and I'll see you all next time.